Hey everybody, this is Lace Watkins of Lace on Race. Good to see you again. We have a lot to talk about. Today, I am filming something that I have had trouble filming for a long time, for the last 9 months really. What used to be called the ask is now called an invitation to financial engagement. Yes, but way more than that. It is an invitation to community, an invitation to get your feet wet, to put your toe in if you haven't yet, to get ankle deep if you want to go a little bit deeper, to see whether or not knee deep is more your style, all the way to getting all the way up here. I have recently started water walking. It is part of my whole idea of getting back into shape, making sure that I stay here and present and healthy, not just for myself, not just for the people that I know, but also for Lace on Race as an organization and as an entity. I have a responsibility to keep myself healthy. So, water walking it is. I don't swim. People are always surprised when they hear me say that. It's like, you don't swim? Nope, I don't swim. So you better believe that water walking, at least the first few weeks of water walking, were really scary for me. Oh, before I go on, let me just introduce myself to you if you haven't met me already. I am Lace Watkins of the Lace on Race Center for Racial Equity. It is a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for tuning in. Here on my channel, we talk about everything: racial justice, applied relational ethics, and so much more. How we do friendships, how we do relationships, even when it's hard. We talk about winning strategies and losing strategies, and we talk about our North Star: lessening and mitigating the harm endured by Black and Brown people, perpetuated by white people and white supremacy. If this feels like something that you're interested in, I want you to pound that subscribe button. I want you to click like, whatever platform you are. Make sure that you get me. And I'm also going to ask you to share. Back to water walking. My first time, I got there an hour early because I wanted to see just how deep 3.5 feet really was. It's kind of deep. And whether or not I would look down and I would get slippery. And if I got slippery, then it's sort of game over, right? I don't want to be planted face forward. And a lot of people think about that when it comes to engagement here at Lace on Race. They don't know how deep they're willing to go. They don't know how slippery the surface is. Will they fall? And if anyone sees them fall, will they help them up? There are about 30 people in the water walking classes at the Joan Kroc Center in San Diego where I do my water walking. I have grown to love each and every one of them, and I know that if I did face plant, that they would be right there. I'm one of the younger ones in the water walking class, so I'm not sure how effective they would be, but I know they'd try, and I know that some of them watch this, and they better be laughing right along with me. But seriously, it is easier to take risks when you know that somebody is behind you, backing you up. That is why it's so easy for me to give this invitation to engagement. I want you to be able to see me, and I want to be able to see you. And the way that happens is through engagement. I know it's scary. You don't know my heart. You don't know my character. You don't know if I mean it when I say relentless reliability. You don't know if I have the capacity, agency, and volition to be able to stay the course with you. But the only way you're going to find out if I and my leadership team and the other members of the community can hold you well is if you dip your toe in. We talk a lot about walking. And water walking is an interesting way of doing it. You go in there and you pray that you don't do a face plant into the water. But once you're in there and you're in the warm water and you're with the people who are doing it with you, leg up, leg down, twist, leg up, leg down, twist, twist. It gets fun and everyone's laughing. And even when people don't know the steps and all that we're doing is splashing because we don't understand everything the instructor is saying, it's still fun. And one of the best times is the time before when we're all getting into our bathing suits upstairs and then we all come downstairs and then sometimes we get coffee together and it's amazing. If I had let my fear of water walking itself, my fear of the people I'd be doing it with, I would never have water walked. I love it. And it feels so easy when you're in there, but you got a workout at the end of that 45 minutes because when you're sitting there eating lunch later on, you're going, whoa, I feel it. We want you to feel it. There are spectator stands at the Kroc Center because there are 3 different pools. There's a therapy pool, which is really cool. And then there's a competition pool, and then there's the recreational pool where the water walkers are. But there are also bleachers. It's a lot more intimate than the Coliseum I have spoken about here, but there are bleachers and there are people who are looking. Sometimes they're waiting for the next class, like waiting for us to get out so they can get in or do their own solo water walking, which you can also do. But sometimes there are people who are just there. There's a coffee stand and they're just holding a cup of ever so slightly overpriced coffee, but that's another comment for another day. And they're watching us and they're feeling it too. I mean, I can tell, like when people the music and people's toes get a tapping, and I'm sure that they feel that they're getting almost as much benefit from water walking as we get who are actually water walking. But I'm here to tell you that's not quite true. That's not quite true. Mirror neurons are excellent things, right? I can watch someone play rugby. I will never play rugby. I can't believe I'm using a sports reference. I'm never going to play rugby. But when I'm watching people in the scrum, I'm excited too. I'm sweaty too. But I am not getting the same benefit. I'm also not getting a tooth knocked out. Again, another conversation for another day. The point here is that it's really hard. It's almost impossible to feel that you're getting something and you're not. And so those of us who were in the water, we're shaking ourselves off like so many Labrador retrievers as we go upstairs to change into our street clothes. And the other people who were in the stands, well, they feel that they did something too. And they did. And it's fun having them out there watching us. But they're not getting the same benefit. That's important to note. So what does it mean? What does it mean to engage? To engage means to trust. And here is where I get really, really honest and candid with you. These 9 months have been hard. Every single time I open this laptop and either make a video or write an essay, I am trusting in this community. There are so many things that I want to do that are cumulative. We still haven't finished Terry Real. And one reason we haven't is because we haven't always had a critical mass to be able to do that. We are coming up with ways that bring people in so that they can dip their toe in, and then they can get ankle deep, level 2, and then they can go up to their waist, and then they can go up to their chest. There are multiple entry points into Laison Race. There are one-on-ones with me, either individually or in small groups, where we can talk deeply, not just about the material itself, but how the individual or how the group is grasping or not grasping the material. I will walk with you. I will hold you. And I'm also training other people to be able to walk with you and hold you. So when we're talking about long range, I am thinking about the many, many ways that Laison Race currently impacts and can impact still more. And this is where the financial engagement piece comes in. I've been so scared to talk about money these last 9 months. People always kick my butt when I talk about money. But the fact is that our revenues are down, very down. And if we don't get our revenues up, we'll be gone in a year or two. And if that's what you want, if that's what you're okay with, then okay, we'll just run out the clock and we'll be gone. But I don't want that. Oh my goodness. I don't want that. I want to be able to show up in and out of the internet, in and off, on and off of my laptop. I want to show up for the community here in San Diego and for other communities. I want to be able to continue to give talks and lectures like the one we're giving next month with Trauma Education Association. I could not be more excited. We are still 4 years in doing work that no one else is doing in the way that we do. And I hope that you don't think that it's arrogant. But I do hope you hear my assurance and my confidence when I tell you I believe in my method, I believe in my ethos, I believe in our praxis, and I believe in our execution. And I want you to too. You're going to be hearing a lot about money in these next months. We're coming up on giving season, and there's Giving Tuesday, there's Cyber Monday, there's all these fun things. There's the merchandise, like a reboot of the Lace on Race Cafe menu that we introduced last year, which I am excited to have in our new digs here in La Mesa, California, which is right next door to Lemon Grove. There's also a calendar with my original poetry and with Melissa's amazing graphics that we want to be able to share with you, and other things as well. We are bound and determined to keep these doors open by any means necessary. And we need you. We need you to help us. So I am asking very directly that you heed the call to engagement, to getting in up to your boob level, because that is the only way the work gets done. That's the only way you internalize what we are sharing with you, and that is the only way you will be able to effectively live it out. All of this is in service to North Star Full Respect Living. The world still needs it. The world still needs you. And I need you to partner with me in real ways, not just this month, but the months going forward. For sustainers, if you have not yet made your commitment, I ask that you do so. For people who want to become sustainers or sustainers in training, we'll have that link below, and you are welcome to join and partner with us in this way. For those of you who pay a la carte at the takeout window or at the bistro, there it is. We need to get to a place where A, we're sustainable, B, we can continue funding our community partners even more. In my platonic ideal, in my dreams, when I lay my head down, I think about the people that we could impact. We're going to be talking a lot about how things are funded. And you guys are going to get a little sick of it, but I'm going to ask you for something. I'm going to ask you not to get mad at me or punish me when we do sponsored posts. Don't flick away and don't say, oh my gosh, she's just another one. She's just out for my money. Well, guess what? I am out for your money, but not just out for your money. When I'm shaking you down for money, and I'm going to be doing more of it because it's a praxis for me, honey, I can't be afraid of y'all anymore. If I believe in this as much as I do, then I need to keep asking. I need to keep suiting up and showing up and getting in the water chin deep. I need to trust that there will be 10,000 of you who make sure that I don't do a face plant in that water. We have done amazing things. We are still setting the standard for both racial justice and for relational ethics, and we're going to continue doing it whether or not we meet goal. But the question is, how long? As I keep saying to you all in these infrequent asks that need to become more frequent, we didn't lose eyeballs. Not in these last 9 months. We're also going to be talking about not just Lace on Race, but about the racial justice sphere as a whole. And talk about some of the articles that I've been reading from Son of Baldwin and also from Nonprofit AF, which is amazing, that talks about the fatigue that dominant culture people have had with the Black Spring. Well, whether or not we feel that things are all better now that those convictions happened, they're not. People are still getting hurt and killed. People are still fielding aggressions that I refuse to call microaggressions, fielding aggressions at work. People are still having to fight for their humanity in relationships. This has been the year that Black and brown people have been battered in relationships with well-meaning white people who then either blow up, shut down, or run away, leaving them holding the bag. It's been true for me too. We need to learn how to do it better. And then we need to take what we learn and generalize it out. So we're going to be starting from scratch. But the way we start from scratch is with a renewed commitment to financial and to engagement here on the boards. I promise that I'm going to do a better job because a lot of my problem has been fear of all of you in the Coliseum. I walked away from Twitter because Catherine Norad, there's this woman who makes sure that she is on my back all the time. But I can't. And so I was wondering, how do I deal with the Catherine Norads of the world with Hesed? The way you do it is you keep showing up. You keep being who you are. You keep reminding yourself of the person, the woman or the man or the non-binary person that you choose to be. And then you keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. The next video after this is going to be the dime challenge. I don't know why I said nickel. The dime challenge. And also the envelope challenge, because even as I exhort you to support the work on Lace on Race, we're not the only game in town. We need to support other people, which is why we have community partners. We need to support Black women, which is why we have the Emotional and Mental Health Fund that we will never waver from. And we need to support our community in Lemon Grove or La Mesa or El Cajon or in Canto or National City or wherever you are. Wherever there is harm endured by Black and brown people, we need to be in the mix. And one way that we be in the mix is we talk about the hard things. And I can't be afraid of you to talk about the hard things, including shaking you down for money, which is what I'm doing, and to continue shaking you down for money. It's a big deal. I'm grateful for all of you who have continued to walk with us in these months. Well, people keep on, I get these emails, or I get these messages. You guys are still going to be around, aren't you? And the only correct answer is yes. I'm reminded of something from my faith tradition taken slightly out of context. Where would I go? Where would I go if I am going to live out the ethos of the Lace on Race Cafe? I can't go anywhere. I will stay here in our digs at the flat and round table that I'm sitting with right now. I will drink my coffee from Guatemala, and I will continue to walk. And I ask and invite and exhort you to walk with me. This is the early November ask, the early November invitation to every axis of engagement.